Okay, I'm with the sheep again, and I'm going to try to walk and talk. Here we go with a paddock move. And ready, set, go. Okay, so they're getting into a new paddock. And again, from the talk the other day, what this is a sheep factory. And more specifically, a meat factory. This is nature's way of producing meat. And like I mentioned in the last video, it's far more sophisticated than any man-made factory by orders and orders and orders of magnitude. I'm sort of reminded of Moses when he went up on Mount Sinai and God said, I'm only going to show you my backside, because if I showed you my whole body, my whole self, your head would explode or you'd die or something like that. I forget the wording. But that's kind of how it is with God's creation also. I can't even tell you the sum total of the sophistication of this system because it's so mind-blowing. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more today, and then I'll tell you more in subsequent days. But what I told you was that this is a meat factory, and a Ford factory that makes cars has inputs and outputs. The inputs are steel and plastic and electricity and fuel and natural gas, and the outputs are trucks and cars. And the energy to assemble all that is the people and the electricity and so on. We're familiar with that. Well, what are the inputs and outputs of this factory? Well, the inputs are grass, which you can see. We still have grass, and it's the end of winter. Another input is the air that we breathe. Another input is the sun. There it is. Hello, sun. The other input is rainwater. Notice that all these things that I just mentioned have one thing in common. They're all natural. They're naturally occurring. No one has to go out and dig up raw materials. No one has to ship those raw materials by truck or by train to the factory. No one has to do anything. It's just right here. And furthermore, once you use the raw materials, then we move the flock on, and the raw materials regenerate themselves. And that's a whole system underneath the ground that's responsible for that. A whole biological system that, again, is just mind-blowing on so many levels. So the inputs are natural, and they're grass, air, water, rainwater, and sunshine. That's the inputs, and what you get is meat as the output. The type of meat, as I mentioned last time, that is perfect for human nutrition. You could live on this and be much healthier than you would be on the standard American diet. One more thing I will mention is that this factory is self-replicating. You don't need another factory. You don't need a building or something to make these sheep. All you need is female sheep. And if you have a female sheep and you impregnate it with the seed of the ram, you will get more sheep. It's a self-replicating automaton. This was something written about by a great mathematician named von Neumann, and he theorized as to how humans could create self-replicating automatons. We are nowhere close to producing self-replicating automatons in man-made technology, but we already have it in sheep and in grass and in trees and in bacteria and fish and giraffes and all kinds of, and humans, all kinds of living creatures that God already made thousands of years ago. So we've had all this super high technology for thousands of years, and all I do is implement it the way God intended it to be implemented. I'm like